Hello, this is Nana Kwaku Window, and today we're going to talk a little bit about using compressors in Reason. Now, the Reason Master Compressor is a great little device. Today I'm going to walk you through the use of the Master Compressor on a basic drum pattern that we're going to put together. Now, compression varies the way that the level of a signal changes over time. Basically, this is what we call audio dynamics. We've been discussing it all week. Now, compressors lower the volume when it is too high, and they raise the volume when it is too low. And there are four main controls with a compressor. We've got our threshold, which is the actual level at which the onset of compression occurs. The lower the threshold, the more compression will be applied. The ratio talks about the actual amount of gain reduction applied to signal levels that are above the set threshold. So if we've got a 1-to-1 ratio, that means that there's zero compression going on. There's nothing going on. If you have a 2-to-1 ratio, that means that a signal that is 2 dB above the set threshold will have an actual gain of 1 dB, and vice versa. And then we have our attack and release. Now, the attack governs how quickly the master compressor reacts when signals are above the set threshold, and the release is what happens when the signal drops below the threshold. It determines how long it takes before the compressor lets the sound go through unaffected. What I'm going to do now is add a drum computer, the ReDrum drum computer, and we are going to put a basic 32 beat pattern together. 1, 5, 9, 13, 16. That was 1, 5, 9, 13, 16. Now that is just your basic pattern. We're going to run it and see how it sounds. Okay, basic stuff. Right. Now we are going to go ahead and add a compressing device, an add-in called the M-Class compressor. So here it is, and as you can see, we've got our main sort of controls, which we had discussed in class. We've got the ratio here, here's our attack, and here is our release. Here is our threshold button. Okay, now there are two other sections. Those are the input gain and the output gain that we haven't discussed in class, and we're going to talk about them right now. Okay, I'm going to talk about a couple more buttons now. We've got your input gain, which basically is the amount of gain that's applied to the signal before it actually reaches your compressor. The output gain does the opposite. It applies gain to your signal after it has gone through the compressor. We're also going to talk about briefly the soft knee. That's the button over here. The soft knee is sort of what provides kind of a soft landing and makes sure that you don't hit the effect that you're actually looking at too quickly. Your adaptive release sort of puts your release function on auto program. Now, side chaining is actually when you use another sound to help determine when you will apply the effect to the sound that you're talking about. If I switch over to the back here, you can actually see here there's a side chain in, and that's where the input of the other device will come in. We're going to end with a very basic demonstration of this effect. Now, when I go ahead and click run, I'm going to put the threshold down to the very minimum, put the attack down to the very minimum, and just listen to how the sound changes when I change the attack level. You hear it's somewhat muted. You can't really hear the drum kick. When I raise the attack level up, you can hear the impact, and when I raise this output gain, it's even a more pronounced gain. I am essentially out of time. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and we'll see you next time.